Decades ago, the beginning of the end of the United States military involvement in the Vietnam War.
Today across the nation, soldiers are being recognized for their service, including right here in the metro. 6 News' Marlo Lundak has the details.
50 years ago, the last troops left South Vietnam, marking the end of American combat troop involvement in the country. Today, those who served and those 58,000 who died are remembered.
Our fallen heroes are the finest examples of our nation's treasures. Treasures more valuable than our national monuments, than our Capitol building or White House, all the acres in the national parks and all the corn in the heartland.
Wednesday morning, dozens gathered in the cold at Omaha's National Cemetery to honor those Nebraskans who served in the unpopular conflict.
When we come home, we wasn't remembered real well, and I guess we didn't get the attention we needed. And now that everything's going, they're really, especially the cemetery, is really helping.
Gary Buck served with the Army in Vietnam from 1968 to 1969.
A lot of people still don't understand what all happened over there.
He says days like today are incredibly important, and he carries pieces of his service with him and his family everywhere he goes.
I had this coat made in Vietnam out of a poncho, and she wears it once in a while. Tells the years I was there and where I was at.
Before closing, Jim Meyer with Nebraska's chapter of Honor and Remember asked the community to recall the names of the fallen soldiers and gave the community a challenge.
Write a few sentences about what you learned today and why it matters to you. And tonight, as you lay down to go to sleep, ask yourself, what is one thing I can do tomorrow to be a better citizen?
On your site in Papillion, Marlo Lundak, 6 News.
A Vietnam Veterans Memorial and Library is set to be built in Sarpy County and open sometime in 2024. A bill in the Unicam would provide the Memorial Foundation with the funding they need to get the project underway.